What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another episode of Right on Cue Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Logan Chestnut, Small Batch Barbecue. Joining me tonight is Mr. AJ Johnson from the Neurala Barbecue team. Mr. AJ, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Long time no see, man.
It's
what you
been
been up to?
Shit, surviving, trying not to be an alcoholic, holiday stuff.
Yeah,
holiday stuff.
You're doing a great job, buddy. You're doing a great job.
No, I'm feeling it, feeling every day. No, man, it's been good, man. I'm so happy that Christmas is over. Ball humbug, Merry Krampus. What Festivus? I want a Festivus. Like let's do like Seinfeld. Merry Festivus for the rest of us. Like, you know,
yeah.
I think he was on to something, and I want to get on that train.
There you go. You can do it.
I can, man. That's good. That was a little before your time. You probably didn't watch any Seinfeld, did you?
Not really, man. Not really. You know,
he says, too many white people on that show.
Nah.
He said that's a white. That's a white. I don't know that. Nah, man. You know, funny. I was watching something. Some interview or something. Not interview. This is some bullshit article on the internet that said they're looking back at like 90s sitcoms, so like Friends and like Seinfeld and all the stuff that, you know, people used to love. Frasier, the shows that we used to love back then. It's like, that's so disgusting, it's inappropriate and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's back when people didn't get offended over everything.
Exactly, the good days,
the good old days.
I'm
still living those good old days. What up, Paul?
Right. Paul, what up, Paul? Goat, Paul.
Yeah, man. So AJ, is your season over yet? I never know with you,
man. I mean, the season is over, but I'm itching like
already.
Crazy. I'm itching, man. I'm like ready. I am ready.
I feel like I'm off the diet, and I'm just like sunk back into the little Debbie cakes and stuff. Like, you know, like with barbecue, it's like, oh yeah, that is a nice hat, isn't it, Amanda? It's really nice.
That's
what
right.
up, Scott? Yeah, the hat's nice. What's underneath it, not so much. But no, man, it's like, it's so weird. Like, you know, you get out of the swing of barbecue comps, and I miss my barbecue family so much.
Yeah.
I was just saying it the other day. I said, man, I told my wife, I said, man, it's like I miss my friends. You know, I'm on summer break, and I go back to school when the barbecue kicks back off again.
Right, man. That's the main thing I miss, man. Is hanging out with y'all, man. You, Hunt, you know, Daniel, Russ. I mean, just miss hanging out with y'all and just watching you being crazy all the time.
All the time.
Cooking our chicken and scoring third place.
Our chicken, cooking perfect ribs, scoring last. Whatever. Yeah. I still can't figure the damn ribs out. I'm gonna start cooking ribs. I told myself I'm giving myself to the New Year, so I'm gonna start cooking ribs every weekend and throwing one away because I know they'll be trash. But I'm gonna figure the ribs thing out so I can hang with you boys.
That's right.
I'm tired of getting my teeth kicked in. But man, it's like, well, hell, you're getting Mr. 180 all the damn time. I mean, I don't know what you're.
I don't know, man. Me and you talking. I didn't have a 180, and then boom.
The entire year, your entire career. This is the first year you've gotten a 180, right?
Yep, the first year. Yep, it's crazy. I don't know what happened. Maybe the fairy, was felt sorry for me, and she just trying to sprinkle some juju on me.
Sure, that must be it. I think you're putting like eggplant picks in the damn box when you turn it in. Like, hey, Hunt, I will go to Chili's and turn in baby back ribs if that's what it takes. I'll tell you what I won't do this year. I will not let Mr. AJ talk me out of buying tacos from a taco stand and turn those in for a taco contest, because I would do it out of spite.
Only person to blame is yourself. You did not.
I know, for listening to you. For listening to you. That's what I blame myself for listening to you, AJ.
I mean, you should just sprinkle a little bit of sausage on there. That's all you have to do.
I put that nasty sausage grease on there. It's fucking disgusting. They're like, I don't want to eat that healthy tacos. I don't like Greek food. If it's from Taco Bell, I ain't eating that shit. No. Fittingly though, the only ancillary contest I think I've ever won is the margarita making contest. So
yeah, that one was fun, man. Speaking of that, man, I'm looking forward to Garrett contest this year, man. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, highly recommend, guys. If y'all are in the backyard circuit or in the Alabama area, or if you're not in the Alabama area, highly recommend checking out our boy Bishop Gareth, Brothers Q Barbecue Supply. He puts on some hell of a contest, amazing guy, and even better charities and stuff that it goes to. So, highly recommend checking them out. If you go to one of his, we'll be doing We'll be doing another fish fry again this year too. So, come down, you'll get fed one of those nights by yours truly and Mr. AJ.
That's right.
On those nights. But yeah, man. So I'm so ready for football season to be over. I think the sport should be banned. Everybody's terrible. I hate the Titans. I hate the Cats. I hate life. Hate. I feel like the football Grinch.
Yep. Man, Auburn.
Well, you're Auburn, so you ain't no better.
Look. If they don't win next year, I just don't know.
Win what? A game? Yeah, I'm saying Kentucky. Y'all beat us.
Beat us. Win at least 7. Just give me 7 or something.
Get a bowl game.
Get a bowl game.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the college playoff, now that it's gone to 12, do you think it kind of like abolishes the, BS of the other bowls, the other 32,000 bowls there are? Because like no one pays attention to me anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like if you're not in a playoff, it's like the NIT tournament and the when it comes to basketball. Like, if you're not in the NCAA tournament, then who cares?
Right. Yeah, I kind of feel that way, but hopefully it get better. I still watch some of the non-playoff bowl games, just because I like the team, like to follow them. But
I watched Colorado Buffaloes get their butts kicked. Shadir, and now they're talking about him coming to the Titans now with our hypes. Like, dear God, no, he can't beat a BYU team. He definitely can't beat a freaking NFL team.
Look, he is the best quarterback. He is the best quarterback.
First off, Cam Ward is better than him, and they're both trash compared to last year's picks.
Oh, come on. Look,
and Cam Ward like
2024. We ain't talking about 23, 25.
No, you put the Buffaloes against SEC talent, they'll get their butts handed to them. They're a mediocre to average team.
They rebuilding, baby. Rebuilding.
No, I don't know if Deion's gonna be there no more. He's like, oh, my kids are gone, so I'm gone too.
He going over.
It's impressive though that a Power 5 team is going to have like 2 of the top 3 picks in the draft.
Yeah,
that's extremely impressive. But anywho, man, I used to there talk football all day, but we got a great guest to round out this year. Good friends of ours, another power team on the backyard circuit, top 10 team in the country.
That's right.
Maker of some great rubs and great people. So without further ado, this man has the best haircut in all of barbecue. Let's bring on Mr. Scott and Daniel.
Daniel.
Oh, where'd it go, man? You had like the mullet and everything. What happened?
It fell off, man. It's gone. No, it ran down to my. It ran down
to beard. Yeah, I like that. No, hey Scott. Hey, thank y'all. You guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Love you guys so much, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us. Merry New Year, all that good stuff. Hey, we're here to talk barbecue. Let's go.
I'm excited to see y'all's faces. I haven't seen y'all forever.
I know you haven't seen mine in a while. AJ's, I don't know, he don't miss a comp. He's like, what is there a comp in Alaska right now? I'm cooking it. Shit, I'm getting my points.
Baby. Let's go.
He's like, I'm getting all my points.
You ain't right, man. Something wrong with you.
Hell, I got to get my points when Hunt ain't there. He's got it now. Hunt's already good. Now he's upgraded to an outlaw. It's all these fancy boys now, man. Everybody's getting outlaws.
Right. Need some sponsors, baby. Come on. We need some big sponsors.
I need some lottery winnings is what I need, man. That's the only way I can keep up with these boys.
You get a stack of champ grands like Hunt. I guess he gets it favored. So.
Dude, I think Hunt and Weeds are the only 2 guys this year that are net positive when it comes to barbecue winnings versus what they spent.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to see if he. I know Weeze is because Weeze only cooked 8 comps, and he won them all. So that helps. But
sure.
I bet Hunt's net positive on it. I definitely hell not. I'm like a degenerate gambler. I'm so far in the red. It looked like Santa Claus suit. It was so bad. AJ's like hovering in the middle, but man, I was and you guys were out there, man. Y'all turned it on at the end of the year, especially.
We had to turn it around. We were not doing so hot in the middle.
Yeah,
it don't matter. The middle. I think everybody takes a slump though. Everybody gets a mid-year slump.
Well, you know, the summer, man, you can't cook during the summer down here. You get burned up. So we got spring training, and then we get good, and then you get summer, and you got to get back into it. And you know, it's like you were saying, it's that summer break or winter break, man. You got to get back into it.
Yeah,
I know. All right, so guys, I mean, I know you guys, and I love you guys, but tell our guests who are not familiar with you who you guys are and where Deviant Smoke came from.
Yeah, so I'm Scott Boyers. This is Daniel Corson. It's my partner. We love to cook. I love to cook. She likes to eat my cooking, so that was pretty easy to come by. But our kids are grown, so looking for other hobbies and fun things to do. We started back in like 2019, 2018. Somebody said, "Hey, you want to cook a steak for us?" I was doing some little stuff around town, and somebody said, "Hey, you want to cook a steak for us?" At it was the old Riverfest. It was the last one that they had, and we went into some pro team called Slacks Racks, and we're like, yeah. So we cooked the steak for them, and ended up banging second that night. And it was like, ooh, you know, we got to look into this. This is pretty cool. So we started looking at some of these SCA. It was SCA is what it was. So we started hanging around and doing some fair weather local cooking. We didn't travel far at all, but there's quite a few comps around that we could do. So we started doing those and meeting a few folks. That's actually where we met AJ and Justin was at one of these cooks. They were friends that introduced us. The Speakmans with Ghost Hill Barbecue introduced us, and watching, these guys start, they're getting their names called quite a bit and whatnot, and chit chatting and all that other good stuff. So a little later on, it was in the very end of 2020. There was a steak cook down in Florence, and AJ was like, "Man, you got to do the KCBS event too." And I'm like, "What are you talking?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's ribs and chicken." I'm like, "Well, I got ribs, but I don't know anything about chicken." And he's like, "You just come on down, it'd be easy and whatnot." So all right. So we went down and did the Friday night steak cook, and then Saturday we got up early with everybody else and went out and started doing our thing. And we were right beside AJ and Justin, and didn't know a thing what we were doing. We got this box, and then we're like, "Wait, we got to garnish it," So it's like Papa Squeal came over, and he's like, "You got any questions?" We're like, "What am I doing in the spot?" So he showed D how to do pinwheels and whatnot, and so that was our very first KCBS comp, and son of a gun, we got first in ribs. So that was like, bam. I was like, "Well, that's it. We're in on this. So where's the next contest?"
Right.
So so AJ and Justin are responsible for this.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man, it's definitely been a good ride, man. It's always a joy cooking with y'all, man. And I think we have a good group for sure.
I think so.
We do.
I love our family.
Yeah, we talk about it. You guys talk about it. We talk about it all the time. I mean, I don't know, it's fortunate, but where we live, I mean, you don't have to drive far or look too hard to find a competition. It's easily, we did 18 comps. We drove 400 miles from one of them. Everything else was in 200 miles. Yeah. And the majority of those were like an hour. I mean, we were very fortunate to have. And then, taking advantage occasionally, there's a double, like Gareth, his comp, man, that double is amazing. I hope they do a double in Gunnersville. I mean, what a beautiful place to stay and just relax and enjoy, and you get to burn some food. I mean, that was a good time.
Man, that was a great contest.
That was pretty awesome.
Oh, that was so dope.
Yeah, it was a great contest, and Logan almost got beat up by old guy.
Because the music was too loud.
At 7:30 p.m.
Hey, we need to be respectful.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so pissed off I wasn't there. I'm so pissed off I wasn't there, because you know what me, I'd be saying some smart ass comment right back. I'm like, "Oh, so sorry."
Yeah. Gary was very thankful that you wasn't present.
Oh, yes. Yes, Amanda, and I fell. Thank you. And I fell in that contest. Yeah. Oh, I thought I tore my ACL. Like fat, tall guys, when y'all fall as hard as I do, something tears. and I didn't tear anything, thank God. But it was that was a rough weekend for me. I had a blast being with y'all, but that was a rough week.
First thing he said was, "I say the ribs."
I say the ribs.
I think that's what Amanda and I said. Did he drop his food? And they were like, "No, he saved it. He saved it."
I say that. I was like, no.
But man,
that would have sucked so bad.
For sure,
so it wouldn't have hurt nothing. I sucked still. I think I got like 12th. I don't know. It was terrible.
It's good.
I thought it was the top 10. I thought we heard your song.
Yeah. No, oh yeah, that was chicken, of course. Chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Well, man,
I can't get on calling ribs.
Tell us a little bit about your equipment, Scott. Like what type of equipment you use to cook your proteins.
Yeah, so this is another funny story. This is another cooking event. So live in Decatur, Alabama, and we're at home of Big Bob Gibson, Chris Lilly. Used to white sauce. So Chris has a charity event every year called the Red Kettle Ride. It's in conjunction with the Salvation Army, and it was just a kind of a raffle. It's like $50 a ticket. You throw your name in the hat, and they draw out 6 names, and those 6 people get to cook a steak for a prize. Now you're guaranteed a prize that is worth at least $50. So they're like, hey, throw more than one ticket in and whatnot. So I threw my name in a hat one year and ended up cooking a steak and winning the grand prize. And the grand prize was the Kingsford XL Rancher offset. So it looks like a Smokey Joe. It just has a Kingsford emblem on it. I think they just made them for a year or two, sold them at Home Depot or whatever. But it's a 36-inch offset. It's heavy. I use that for my ribs. And the only reason I use that for my ribs is, well, that's what I taught myself to cook on. I mean, that's my, I mean, I've got a Yoder out there, way too heavy to take. I've got a pellet grill. That's what I use for chicken. But for some reason, I feed it. I started with charcoal and I feed it mini splits of hickory all day long, literally all day long. And I'm a long cook. I'm a 250 to 75 guy when it comes to the ribs. 2 hours, let it tack up. Wrap it and all that other good stuff. But you get the skinny on that. It's just a good old 36-inch offset. And then same story. 2 years later, I won Chris Lilly's steak cook-off again, the charity cook-off, and the prize was Camp Chef. So and it's Camp Chef pellet grill. It's the DL whatever. I mean it's the simple as it can be, but it is reliable.
Didn't I beat you on that one?
Sure. No, you beat me on the one. She beat me. I won one, then she won one. I got second, and then she won one.
I got you.
But yeah, it was pretty good. Dan Speakman, Go Still, he got one of those. He nailed one of those in there somewhere. Excuse me, I forget which year. I think it was after me, and we didn't get in that next year. But so I used the Camp Chef for chicken, and I just feed it hickory pellets, usually Pit Boss or something off the shelf at Lowe's, nothing special. At least I'm not sponsored enough for it. But I will tell you that our mentors on the pro circuit, Derek and Erica Sheet Smoke Meats, they are B&B sponsored. And when they don't cook a whole lot, he'll say, hey, come down here and grab charcoal. So that's why you see us tagging a lot of B&B and thanking them for keeping the coals hot. And even the pellets sometimes when they're available, we do use those, and we've had good success with those. So yeah, hoping for this year's sponsorship.
Awesome, man. So speaking of success, man, obviously, you have great outcome with the smokers you have, but have you ever thought about maybe changing over to like a drum or something different than what you're running right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the things that's definitely been the worst, because you gotta. Well, let's face it. I mean, you've got to adapt over time, because the pendulum swings, whether it's, what you're cooking, definitely what the judges are looking for. You've got to keep looking for the next edge, and obviously just looking at what happened last year, the amount of smoke or the amount of names called that cook on drums was substantial. And that I definitely took note of that. I'm an analyst by trade, so I do everything very, projecty by certainly by temperature, by time, all that. Of course, meat's the cheater and all of that. You got to that's a deciding factor. Of course, temperature's always playing around, but if you tell the story, it's kind of close most of the time. So I've got obviously what I've got figured out, but I absolutely agree that a drum is going to be in my future. And of course, I'm not gonna go rolling into a comp with something that I haven't diligently done, plenty of research and practice with, because that's just silly. I think we've talked about this before, but you can't throw money at a first place. It don't work.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of love. You just can't throw money at it, and it happens.
I don't know, man. The only time I ever won my first place ribs was on a new grill. It was on a new GMG, and I was like, "All right, I got this thing." I haven't seen one since.
That's at 10% luck, 90%. Skill.
Well, I heard it was a one team comp.
Oh, was it one of them?
Hey, two team, and the other team, I may or may not have put a toothpick in their turning box. So, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do.
That's why I'm gonna start sprinkling some purple kale on AJ's boxes when he's not looking.
Yeah, be like
that stuff that turns purple once you put something hot on top of it. They won't see it until they pick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna start getting Sharpies when AJ's not looking. Start coloring in his kale. I'm like, here we go.
Put like a mark on top of the box.
We work so hard on.
I will, absolutely. I will. I'll do whatever I take to beat you guys. Man, I can't beat you guys.
Don't mess with my box.
You don't want to come in the camper when she's doing boxes, man. You would think she's trimming a chicken thigh. I mean, it's
important
intense.
to me.
It's very important. No, it's very important. That's why I don't do it. I have my partner in Houston for it because, dude, these hands are made for meat, not for the greens. That's why I look the way I do.
But that poor kid from Curly Bird, he just showed up and said, "Hey, I'll do your boxes for whatever it was, $15." Logan was like, "Take my money." Oh,
I was like, "Take my money." No, it was like it's so funny because he originally said he's going to get there and he was going to trim meat. I'm like, "No, man, trim meat's not where it's at." I say because everybody already get their meat trimmed. It's boxes. People hate boxes.
Yeah.
If you do it right, we'll pay you all day. And he made a good amount of money at Pusacue. I think he did 18 or 22 of them.
I mean, what's a case of kale cost? $15 or something like that?
His net positive was very, very nice. Very nice. Good return on his investment.
Yeah.
But no, man. So let's dive in. Because we haven't said yet, but you do have your own brand of rubs and seasonings.
Yeah.
So how big of a part in your program, like what made you like go that route to have your own rubs and seasonings?
Yeah. So COVID birthed a whole lot of things for us, right? Because we were at home and we were bored. But I've cooked all my life and I've done it professionally. I used to run restaurants. I've chefed. I've done a bunch of different things. That's a lot earlier in life, but cooking is something I always enjoyed doing. And then when you there's just a couple of things. You get into the cabinet, you get the bowl out, you do some of this, and you just know what to do, and it works out. And that's my steak seasoning, or this is my chicken seasoning. And I'd done it quite a bit, and we were playing around with it. Well, Dee finally started yelling at me. She's like, "You've got to write this recipe down." I'm like, "Well, I mean, it's kind of, this and that." She's like, "Well, I think you need to like measure that stuff out." So I did. One day I sat down and I measured out what we call our all-purpose DAP, deviant all-purpose. And I measured it out, and I said, "Okay, this is it." And I wrote it down. This is the recipe. And occasionally folks will be like, "Hey, can I get some of that or whatnot?" And I sure. So I got on Amazon. I'm like, I need some bottles or something like that. So some plastic bottles with lids and stuff like that. So I bought that, and then bought enough seasoning to fill them up and printed off some crappy labels on a laser printer, like black and white only, Deviant Spoke, Decatur, Alabama. And I'd sell them for nothing. I'm like literally would not make anything, but things were going along really good. And then it was kind of like, hey, this is starting to get away from us. And then I made chicken one evening for fajitas. I was doing meal prep for a group of ladies, and I was like, well, this is the stuff I use for chicken fajitas, and they're like, well, this is really, really good, and I'm like, oh, and Dee's like, you need to write that recipe down and maybe put some in the bottle. Maybe we can make a little money off of that too. And I was like, that's good. So that's
a pattern.
That's our fajita shake, right?
It's a good pattern, Logan.
That's very excellent pattern. I like the pattern.
Yep. And then the last one, GS3P, which is by far our best seller and the one that everyone gobbles up. A buddy of mine just called me out and said, "Hey, look, man, your stuff's good, but I'm more of a salt, pepper, garlic guy." And I'm like, let me work on this a little bit. So I put something together and sent it to him, and he's like, "I want all you can make." And I said, "Done." So I wrote that
challenge accepted.
Hey. So we were bottling this stuff in the house, and a friend of ours that's our accountant was like, you're probably going to need to get a business license because I mean, you're selling a lot. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to start remitting taxes and all that stuff. So we engaged a co-packer. So all of our stuff is bottled, manufactured and bottled at a co-packer. And we sell it, and we use exclusively our stuff in our competitions, which I know is a little weird. I mean, we bring our own stuff and we rock our own stuff, but it's really, really good. Now I won't fib all the way. I mean, every now and again, we may need a little this or that. And that's little things that I've learned watching your show, for instance. You know, obviously you taste your food, but you can make adjustments at the very, very end with tiny bits of finishing powders and dust and things. And hell, you can put them on the bottom, you can put them on the top. So, it's nothing for me to grab a salt shaker and go, "Hey, look, get this in a grinder," or some sort of flavored salt, or just something with the tiniest touch of savor. We need to take this a different way and hit that thumb grinder, and then out the door she goes.
Yeah.
Right. Man, it's funny, like, with contests and stuff, we've talked about in the show, AJ, and when we talked to Tim Shear, because he's the greatest finisher of all time in barbecue, in my opinion. I think everyone will say that, but it's when you get to, whenever the meat gets on the cutting board, when it's that time, when it gets that time of day, that kind of separates the boys from the men, essentially. And knowing, exactly, tasting your food and knowing, if it's a little too sweet, throw a little salt, savory on there. If it needs a little heat, that balancing act that you do at the very end. Tell people, like, what part of the cooking contest was hardest for you guys to kind of figure out when it started clicking? Like, okay, well, this is kind of, the tricks and tips I needed to know to kind of turn it into a winning program.
I think, well, again, I'll go back to paying attention to some of the folks that have huge success that have been on your show. And I mean, if you listen, they've told you, Hunt, just talking about chicken alone. I mean, we were horrible in chicken in 23. We were rocking ribs. I mean, finished 11th overall. I couldn't be more happier. We cooked in 10 comps. I was ecstatic. We thought we had it. We had to work on chicken. So, we barreled down looking at chicken and, doing the little tweaks we go. But again, you listen to people like Hunt talking about exactly what he does and how he executes. And then you had Electrocuted on. There's another one. I mean, you guys clobbered it, man. If you don't download, listen, and replay that, I mean, you've got to listen to what the guy's saying. And there was something that he said that resonated with us at Whistle Stop, and it was right before Whistle Stop that he was on your show, and he's like, you've got to make sure that you're season it right. And he said, and he paused and he went, "Or enough." And I was like, "Oh, there it is. There it is." Because you don't know where you're stacked up on that table. You don't know. You're the first, sixth, whatever, somebody got their mouth burned off in the beginning. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but you've got one bite. You got one bite to make it happen. And if you cook to your schedule and the temperature profile, as long as you've got some decent meat, you should hit your texture. And AJ talks about this all the time. You got to hit your texture, but if you hit your taste, that taste can make up a whole lot for that texture sometimes. I mean, I don't know why anyone would ever get less than a 9 in appearance, but I hate the scores that come out sometimes. I won't say the people, but the scores. But
7.
Yeah,
it
absolutely blows me away. But it's all right. It happens. But if you cook to your timeline and you get that tenderness where it's supposed to be, and you have that flavor finish right there, that's a big part of it. That's really what'll make all of it. Sometimes you miss.
Do you think I'll tell you something that I use a lot at the end, and AJ, I think you do too, and then a lot of teams do, just a little kosher, salt, just a little pop of salt sometimes is all you need. You know what I mean? As far as finishing dust, like if it's really sweet, because we've got a little heavy handed with some maple syrup or something like that, or a little sweet on the honey at the end. You're like, oh, this tastes like diabetes. So you get you a little pop of salt at the end. Something simple as that, it changes the entire flavor profile and saves your protein. Or if it's a little too like spicy, you're gonna add some, like, brush it with some maple syrup or something like that. Kind of bring it down a little bit. Because I've done that sometimes. Like I'll try this new, like, because I like my food spicy, and so I'll try some of these like hot rubs and stuff. And sometimes the bottles are not, they're blended, but sometimes you get that little pocket of there's a little more pepper or cayenne, and then the other part of the bottle, and you hit that perfect pop, and you're like, oh crap, okay, that's got a little howdy doody on there. So get some good old maple syrup and brush it on there, and it tones it on down. It's all about balancing it.
We do use a little granulated honey.
Yeah.
In a thumb grinder, if you can get it, and sometimes that don't even get it fine enough. You may need to process it, get a little coffee grinder, but a granulated honey is a nice little across the top of it's too hot. We find salt on the bottom of the product. And we actually got some goodie bag we got at one of these comps. I don't even know where we got it from, but it was like it's a little salty, a little garlicky, and a little buttery.
Oh, it's so good.
We've used that a couple of times on the bottom to give us that salt, when it hits that bottom, that palate on the bottom. But definitely if it's too hot, granulated honey comes into play, but you got to it's real fine. You put it on the and it melts right in.
Right. That's a good thing you talk about. I've talked about that before. Do you have different finishing rubs and dust on the bottom of your meat versus the top of your meat?
Absolutely.
Because that's a little tip and trick I've kind of picked up last year was, I got one rub that tastes like Apple Jacks a little bit. And I put a little bit of that on the bottom because we all overthink our stuff whenever we're cooking. We're like, all right, they're gonna hit their palate like this, and they're gonna get that, then they get the top part. Do you think that's true, or do you think it's just us overthinking stuff?
I think that's the way tasting works. I think that there are judges that overdo it. But I think that's how that's just how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's little stuff like that have y'all taken classes? I wanted to bring that up. Y'all ever done like a barbecue class or?
No, I want to.
Yeah, we have not done a barbecue class, but I mean, if you hang around, the North Alabama boys trailer camp, any one of these competitions, you can pay enough information, kind of get some good.
To be real honest, we learn a lot from you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that to like boost up y'all's heads, but like AJ, Logan, all of y'all, when we've come to y'all and asked y'all this or that, or I've heard him ask y'all, and y'all are like willingly like, no, how about you just tweak this, whatever. That's where we've learned. We've learned it from y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, AJ,
at the end of the year, Garrett started getting his calls, and I'm like,
"Oh, dude, on fire!
We got to go hang out with Garrett.
Yeah, no shit.
What you got going on over here, buddy? Holy Smoke. Is it Holy Smoke?
Yes.
Yeah, Holy Smoke. And then who's with Garrett's brother-in-law? What's forget who they
Rolling
are.
Smoke.
Rolling Smoke. They rolled up into Virginia and kicked it real good, and
Grand twice.
They pulled, what was it? Not Athens, but
Scottsboro.
Right up the road from us, had another great show. Scottsboro, had a great show in there. I'm like, all right, guys, because it was Gareth and them like 1-2, and I'm like, okay,
for sure.
What I mean, I'll straight up walk in AJ's trailer and I take pictures of all of his recipes and stuff. And then if I'm gonna start doing a paid subscription to Right On Cue, and then I'm gonna start posting these pictures out. I'm called Chicken with Right On Cue.
Yeah,
I hope Bill's not watching right now. Sorry, I ain't taking your name, Bill. But
take his labels off his mason jars and switch it between chicken and
oh man, if I met AJ's the nicest guy in the world, but you mess with his stuff, it's so funny. Or my favorite thing to do is put stickers on his trailer and let him see how long it takes for him to find out.
Man,
I have wasted so many stickers doing that, but it's worth every penny.
I've never stickered anybody's camper or trailer, but
that's my favorite thing to do.
I was in a duck blind. up at the beginning of December up in Reelfoot Lake. I deviant smoked the duck blind.
Yes. Dude, you got to. I think it's a fun thing. It's like, God, I want to start that next year. Oh, yeah, I love doing AJ. I got Justin on his license plate. He had that thing on for like 3 weeks. I saw he was walking around. He was walking around a small batch barbecue sticker on his license plate forever. I'm like,
Man.
His little niece is
get pulled over.
No, his little niece is like, I'm about to tell my uncle. I said, snitch. No, she was a sweetheart. But no, man, I miss it, man. I miss it so bad. And what is your opinion? So, a backyard, for people who don't know, it's 2 meat. What are your thoughts on like bringing pork into the backyard more consistently, making backyard 3 meat? Because I mean, pork's not that much more expensive.
No, so well, I mean, in the end, I mean, if you want to grab, most of the time I cook, I grab 1 money muscle. I don't even cook 2, just because I don't know. I of course I scout my meat. I find one. I'm like, that one's gonna work or whatever. If I've got to tie it or something like that, I mean, I do. But my money muscle goes on the same time as my ribs do, and it comes off basically the same time my ribs do. It gets wrapped a little after my ribs do. So I don't mind, because I'm gonna take the rest of the butt. I'm gonna cut it up. I'm gonna make sausage out of it, or I'm gonna do something else. So I don't think it's a big deal. It's just 1 more protein, but it's going to go on a grill that I'm already running, at a temp that I'm already running at. And to be honest with you, I generally use the exact same stuff that I put on my ribs, I put on my money muscle. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've recently learned to start dissecting. So I know about the tubes and, trying to get some good chunks. So, I mean, I could get like an actual capicola or gabagool or whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it these days, that neck without the bone. I mean, collar. I could do that. Collar, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do a collar. I could butcher the collar. Something like that. I know the other 2 terms. I mean, I make your meat out of it. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it, because it honestly, it doesn't add. It doesn't add to my timeline. It adds to my expense by $20 for $1 butt, $40 for 2 butts. And I'm going to probably, and AJ knows this because he's seen me do it, I'll take that money muscle out and I'll turn around and smoke that butt, and the rest of it, and I'll sell it for $40 on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll pay for it. AJ's watched me pay for comps for years doing that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to, man. You got to hustle. You got to meat side hustle.
For sure.
But no, I mean, I've talked about many people on the board and stuff like that. Like, I would love because I feel like that's like making the jump from, backyard, quote unquote, backyard to pro. I mean, the big one's brisket. That's the big, thing that holds everybody back, I feel like. But if you make it 3 meat, and people are, comfortable cooking the chicken, the ribs, and the pork already, I mean, that jump to, pro whenever you want to is not that scary anymore. You know what I mean?
Right,
Whereas you're not learning. And also it adds another category, because backyard, the one thing I don't like about backyard is if you don't hit top 2 or top 3 on one of the proteins, you got no shot at GC.
Right.
Unless everybody else screws up too. That's all.
Yeah, but it's
rare. It's rare.
That's happened once this year, maybe. We've all kind of flopped.
It hasn't been much.
No, but I'm saying, but if you don't hit like, yeah,
I got 2 firsts in chickens and then 30 bazillion in ribs.
We got it back at the end. We got it back.
I was like, this is gonna be great.
I did that at Glencoe this year. I remember I got the 180 in chicken, and then I got like 26th in ribs and 30th in pork. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. At least I got 1. But no, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like
you and I, we don't say, hey, we got destroyed.
Oh, it's gross. It's gross. But no, I think they need to make pork, because like I said, if you have 3 meats, then you could not bomb, but you can get 12 to 15 and still, have a chance. If you get top 10 in one, 12th, 15th in another, and like first or second in another category, you got a chance to get top 2.
Yeah, easy.
GC, that's the thing I like about pro, because it has 4 categories, and it doesn't you have more of a chance to have a GC even if you mess up on one. Say you got the crap table on ribs or something like that. That's not going to drop you out because like backyard is so much luck. If you guys cook amazing food, both of y'all, and but you get like me and Scott. We get on that crap table and it don't matter what food we're putting in front of them. We can even filet mignon, but they think it's poopery. They don't care. So that throws you completely out of the racket for GC.
I've got a great example for that. I just remember this. So Winchester this year, we got like a mediocre call for both chicken and ribs. They ran pork as an ancillary. It didn't go towards grand. And we finished second behind Garrett's 181st. But when they initially pushed the scores up to KCBS, they included it and it had me as grand.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey guys. And they were like, sorry, they're like, the scores are right. What we called it right. We just set them up wrong. But there's a great example that would have pulled me up to GC.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I wouldn't mind, just me talking, like Logan said, make it a 3 meat and have brisket as a ancillary. I mean, I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't have to do it, but you can do it.
Yeah.
It won't count toward grand, but that's like you said, the leap to pro is a $200 brisket, at least one, and the additional cost of the buy-in, which I don't even pay attention.
It's just monopoly money at this point, with barbecue comps, it's just monopoly money. I just throw it in the air.
Do you want to throw an additional? I don't even know what it is. Say it's 400. Do you throw an additional 500 at it?
Yeah, the average cost of a pro comp is probably $1,000. You probably spend $1,000 per contest for meat, entry fee, everything. Whereas backyard, what, 500?
Yeah.
That'd be expensive one.
Well, for like
think about your whole weekend, you're spending $500.
Yeah, for like a 3 meat and whole weekend.
Total.
3 racks of ribs. That's what 3 racks of ribs. Average. If you're getting primes, you're spending what, $80? Yeah, $90. Say $90. Your chicken's cheap.
That's 100 something. Gonna be 60, 75, depending on what type of butt you get.
And then the entry fees $250. So I mean,
500. And that's not even renting a room. Of course, we haul a toy hauler. You guys sleep in your porch trailers. I mean,
but like I said, $500. That's probably about average for backyard comps.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know, man. The money aspect of it, it's nice when you win. Obviously, I wouldn't know. AJ I hear good things. But I mean, it definitely adds up though over time. That's another thing that like stops people from jumping pro is the associated cost that goes with it. Like some of these people, like think about it. Some of these people go 45 to 50 comps a year. That's like 50 grand, 60 grand. I mean, if they're doing that many comps, they're traveling across country. So probably what, 60, 70 grand.
Easy.
I mean, that's big money.
Yep. I could say I don't mind bringing pork into the ring. Again, it's not that 15-minute trim, man. 15-minute trim, and the cost is going to offset because I'm already running when I'm running. I'm going to sell the butt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all. The big thing is I don't think I know how to cook a brisket. I kind of suck at it. So I mean, I'm not going to jump. I mean, I cooked the Invitational this year and got whacked.
A lot of people
will wake up call.
Yeah, the Florida comps, man. The Florida comps, they all do 4 meats. Who else does 4 meat? AJ, Missouri. Did Missouri do a lot of 4 meats?
Not that I know of. They do 3 meats.
3 meats, pork. Yeah. I'm trying to think what's the other state does 4. Kentucky does 4 meats. I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on like traveling? Like, what are some of your favorite destinations you go to on the contest that you've been to, that you like go to every year?
So,
calling you out.
Smoke on the Falls in Gadsden, without a doubt, as a destination location. Stay the extra night, come a day early. The waterfalls, 100 yards from your campsite.
Oh, so pretty.
Very, very cool.
I loved Lincoln, but they didn't do it this year. I loved that. Well, we were out there, even though it was hot. But they had the lake. The kids got to swim. I know the Chris children loved that. I loved that one. I did love it.
We had to drive to turn in though. If they would get their stuff together and come back one day, we'd look at it. But
was that the one with the railroad in between? Was that the railroad that went in between the?
No.
That was Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
I really, really enjoyed Gunnersville. That was probably the most picturesque place that we've been. Just the campground itself is awesome. But I mean, you walk outside and there's deer eating potato chips off the picnic table right in front of you. I mean, that's I would tell everybody, pay the fee, come early, stay a day late. That's a great spot to have a competition. There's something to be. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind cooking in a parking lot. But the destination location on top of that is really, really, really nice. I did enjoy Christmas on the River in Demopolis until the club music started about 9:30.
What was club music?
It went to 2:30. I mean, I thought I was coming out and sending a few in the air just to shut it down.
In the back of the camper,
it was a problem.
It was Club 57, Studio 54, 57, whatever, in the back of it. And in the front, it was the rodeo. Okay. So we had two clubs going on.
We didn't go back. And I'm like, I'm not going back if I've got to listen to that crap.
Yeah.
Oh.
There is no silent. There is no quiet time there.
I loved Foley. I loved Foley. Absolutely loved Foley.
Florence was beautiful.
Winchester's neat. I mean, when you go to a barbecue comp and there's a carnival, kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, and you got the beautiful lake, Winchester. I mean, I love that lake. And what's it? Florence was beautiful. I've never been to Florence before.
Oh yeah. Russ did it really. Russ and
killed it, man. They killed it.
Yeah. I mean, even though they even parked us in the trees, I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. But even parking in the trees kept the sun off of us, and there was nothing bad about that. Got a nice stage set up for us. That was again another 35-minute run to the competition for AJ and I. It's awesome.
Man, I gotta get closer. I want to move closer so I can get on that train.
We were just up in your neck of the woods, man. We were in Franklin, man, having a good time.
I know. I told Danielle, I said, y'all are up my way, man. My wife actually used to live. So where y'all had dinner, my wife lived like 2 miles away.
Oh wow.
We love Franklin. It was beautiful.
50. Did y'all go to 55 South?
No, we went to the chef that owns 55 South owns Corky Cow and the Red Pony. We ate at both of those, but we did eat at 55 South our last visit there.
That's my favorite restaurant. That whole little downtown Franklin's. It's cute. It's
so amazing.
That cottage that we rented was legit. It's right. It's 2 blocks away from Biscuit Love, so it's I don't know. 3.5 blocks away from 55 South. That's the spot.
One of my favorite stores, it's called Savor and Spice, right there on the square. I go in there every time. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's nice down there. It's outrageously priced, but 100%. Everything down there is as California prices. But
it's good for vacation.
It's a great vacation place. Great vacation.
Christmas.
It was my Christmas.
But no, man, that's cool. So what are we thinking about next year, guys? Like when that's another thing we haven't really talked about on the show. Like what part of the year we're all in the off season, what part of the year do y'all guys start sitting down and saying, hey, where do we want to go? And like, do you kind of map out your year, or do you kind of do like, this is my spring session, then we worry about the fall later?
No, we go ahead and I did a really good job of mapping it out last year. Of course, the year before we had a lot of life get in the way. We had kids graduating and marriages and all kinds of stuff. So, I missed out on quite a few local fair weather competitions that we just had life interfere with. But no, so right off the bat, we're jumping into Lebanon because I'm not going to miss that. It's a massive comp. It's a great place to network.
Best.
You have your own spot as long as you want it. I just pull up to the gate and they're like, he knows where he's going. Right beside the poultry and rabbit barn. That's right beside the stage, beside the stage, less than 100 yards from turn in. I've got my own spot, So we'll be there. Obviously, definitely going to do Singing River in Athens. That they had a first year comp last year. It was big. I think it's going to be even bigger this year. I had the friends that I had that I was able to drag there were so impressed with what they got to taste because they did one of those tasting booths and everything, and we all did one for them. Which, by the way, as a competitor, I know some folks don't do it. I have my own opinion. I'm speaking for Scott. I just kind of think kind of your duty. Just plug in a pellet grill, run that daggum thing all night, throw it in a Cambro when you get up in the morning and pull it when you can and just give it to them. Just especially when they're giving you the butts, man, just do it. Let them make some side money. That allows them to have really cool trophies and stuff, and still fund their scholarships and all that crap. So do it if you can. If you got room to do more for them. It doesn't matter. So we'll go March heavy. I'm not going to miss Smoke on the Falls. I just talked about that's in Gadsden. We got our first reserve, our fourth cook ever. We've got a grand reserve there.
Yeah.
The reserve grand, we would call it, which was awesome. And then we repeated last year, which was so awesome. So we'll definitely be there, and then we'll figure it out. And then we've got vacation plans and stuff like that. And I don't like to cook in the summer when it's my camper's 90 degrees under the AC.
That's not a fun time.
Horrible.
No.
And I want to jump. You want to jump back into it because you do. You take some time off. The smoker doesn't smell right anymore. You gotta get some grease in the smoker to get it going and whatnot. Again, knock the dust off, because if you don't write everything down, you're gonna forget everything.
We miss our friends.
And then you go through the season, and you come. We just got lucky. Our very last comp of the year, Whistle Stop, which was right here in Huntsville, across the bridge, hometown, 52 teams. We finally got our first grand. And we did it in front of tons of family and friends, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that
was
awesome.
But yeah, we'll map it out.
So talk about that. Talk about how you get your first grand. Like, what do you think is harder to get, a first place in a category or a grand? Because we've had this discussion with AJ and Hunt and all those and a bunch of us. So which one do you think is the more difficult to get?
I've got 30 comps experience, and I will tell you the grand. I mean, I've got like 2 firsts in ribs, numerous seconds, tons of thirds. And then chicken, I got, it wasn't until this year we focused on chicken, and we just changed some stuff out, and we started clicking on chicken. So I had like three ones, a couple of twos, bunch. I mean, we were solid. We finished sixth this year in chicken. So, but putting them both together and hitting that where the hard part is. It's got, like I talked about it at Athens, Singing River, and we did it again at Ditto Landing in Florence. 2 first place chickens, and it was like, and sitting beside folks like AJ and Justin and those guys, and they immediately look at you and go, "How do you feel about your ribs?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, because AJ knows I come around the corner and he'll ask me, he'll be like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Eh." And we know what we're tasting and what we know. We now, don't get me wrong. What happens on that judging table, I don't know, because sometimes you're like, "I didn't like it." Boom, first place,
Right.
But if he says, "How was your chicken?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he's like, "All right, well, let's see what's up, man. Go."
Yeah. See, every time I say that though, AJ's the same way. Every time AJ says, "Yeah, they're really good," I'm like, "All right, sweet. He sucked this time."
Yeah, right.
Anytime I say like, "Oh, my stuff's really good," I just count me out. I'm almost like, why is Logan packing already? What's going on over there?
Yeah,
I'm in the road.
You're our chicken. I'm like, what's Logan doing over there at 11 o'clock? Oh, he's putting his chicken on.
Man,
I totally forgot to throw chicken. I'm like, I was supposed to do something. Oh shit! I gotta put my chicken on. I did that with ribs before too. It's like I love messing with people on the ribs. Like, what are you doing your ribs? Oh, I'm about to throw them on. It's like 11:30. I'm like, I'm about to throw them on right now. I'll be all right.
I just got them out of the boiling water.
Yeah. I got to par cook them, and then I finish them up the next day.
Crazy. So man, we talked about your season and stuff a while back. Do you have any I guess plans to come out with something else like a brine sauce or another line for your season?
I don't. And I'll just tell you now. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with a co-packer, but it's a pain in the butt. Because they don't get me wrong, they run their own businesses, but I cash flow this whole thing, so. When my minimums go to 500 pounds per, it's a royal pain in the butt. It's a lot of out-of-pocket money. Thankfully, a number of our seasons have caught on at restaurants, and we're selling 8-pounders, 6.25 pounders of 2 of them, and an 8-pounder of GS3P. And when I say we're selling, we're moving it. I mean, it's definitely caught on. GS3P is the one I said if it ever goes, it's gonna go, and it's starting to go. I do have a couple of seasonings that I make on the side still. But as far as bringing something else to market, not right now. I don't think sauce will ever be in my future. It's not something that it would be an entirely new skill for me to bring a barbecue sauce. I mean, I make plenty of sauces. I mean, I do it all that. We had a bolognese tonight. It was amazing.
It was.
But, right. I had a bolognese. I made my own. She got me a pasta extruder for Christmas. I usually roll out my own noodles she got me extruder. So
I
was able to make, actual, extruded noodles and the whole bit. It was amazing. But it's a whole new skill. It's a whole new learning set. And I'm not there yet for that. As far as another seasoning, I've got one that I use for my pork butts that is just a derivative of what I already have. It's some of this, some of that, and then I add one other thing, kind of a deal. That's, I take DAP, I take GS3P, and then I add some more something, and that's I call it butt rub. I think some of you guys might have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you actually have your hands on some, right?
Yeah.
But that's it. Not for right now, and especially when my minimums are 500 pounds per seasoning. It's just too expensive to try to go at it right now. Now, if we ever implode, I mean, hell yeah, let's go into R&D mode. But 3 is good. These are moving well before I need them to move. It only took me 6 months to go through my inventory last time, so so I've got a good fresh product. So I just need to enter additional retailers is what I'm looking to do, and I'm dragging my feet on that. But I'm trying to grow this more organically. I'm not trying to Danos this down anybody's throat.
Yeah, pop.
We don't mean that ugly. We don't mean that ugly.
No, absolutely. Bring on the fire. Bring the fire.
Look, I mean, if folks ask, they're like, "What do you use?" I'm like, I literally tell you exactly what we use. We've got a couple of teams that we sponsored this year and said, use this, and they've had success with it. Don't get me wrong; they take it, and then of course they tweak, and they got to do your own thing. Yeah. But there are some folks that just don't have a clue. I'm like, this isn't a bad place to start, guys. I'm showing you the recipe.
Why don't you throw a little cayenne or something there and do like a one of yours and just call it hot? That'd be adding.
Well, I do. I actually have one that I make for the local pool hall here, and it's called Hot.
Yeah. That's entirely
true. It is. I won't eat it. It's horrible. It's a dry rub for wings, but I won't touch it. It's good.
Well, that's what that's what like sauces, especially. I know I'm not gonna say their names, but they have a pretty well-known, well-used sauce, and literally they have one now. It's their name and smoky in front of it, and all they do is add liquid smoke to it.
Yeah,
he says it's a completely different sauce now. It's smoky.
No, it's not. New and improved.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, no, it's exciting. So you're going to kick it off. So your first one's going to be in Lebanon, right?
Yeah, for sure. We'll be there. I'm not sure if we're going to do Foley. We're on the fence. It's a good time. It's just a long haul. I will say it's probably got. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't have a Pusa Q trophy, which are obviously absolutely beautiful works of art, and we appreciate everything they do. But when it comes to just a good old small backyard competition, Foley's trophies are pretty awesome.
And I got second place dessert.
They're they CNC machine them, and they're all decorative, and then they give them to the local I guess kids, the arts, some high school or something like that, and they individually paint them. So no one is ever going to have the same one because it's painted by a different kid every year, kind of a deal. Exactly. So we got 3 of them last year, and that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Hey, Daniel, maybe one year you'll get a first place margarita trophy.
I can't help it. My margarita was like second place yours. Okay. It was just as good.
She had Did
you have people asking for your margarita afterwards?
She had 3 180.
I did.
3 180.
No, they drank all mine. They drank all mine. I didn't have any left. I didn't have any left because they already drank all mine on the front end.
Oh man,
she's had 5 180s this year. She did really, really well.
No, I'm messing with you, girl. You kick butt. You kick butt, man. I got to get more. I want
my ancillaries again this year. I'm bringing up my board game,
dude. Ancillaries are fun. I suck at them, but they're really fun. My taco game is going to go through the roof this year. I can't.
I'll tell you what, Sam Stickman. I know she's watching, but Sam Stickman is the queen of ancillaries, and she keeps me on my toes.
Oh, and Pat and Leela.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Some of the stuff they did this year, I was like, I want to play this.
Yeah, like, and then hang around the barking pig guys. Man, their stuff is ridiculous. I'm like,
there's so many great cooks, man. There's so many good cooks in our group
with LEDs, and I'm like,
I love it.
Maybe a hologram above it next year.
Don't kill my disc.
That's the thing. So, all right, let me ask you a thing on desserts. Can we just like ban cheesecakes from the dessert category?
No.
Yes. Yep. No. We're gonna ban it because that's
make them from scratch over here. Okay, I don't go to Publix and buy one.
Well, I'm about to because that's how Daddy's gonna win.
I got to be honest with you. This year, the no-bake cheesecake was
what I did.
It was so
I just
easy.
changed the compost.
I'm doing tres leches cake every comp, and I'm gonna throw down. I'll probably still lose the cheesecake, but mine's more delicious. They're so good. I just want a variety of desserts. I feel like the only thing that ever wins is cheesecake. What'd you make? I'm like, every time the judge is like, oh, so tell us what you made. I want to be like, cheesecake.
I have saved already a couple of new ones, a couple of new ideas that I've saved. I sent my first one that I sent to Scott. I don't even know if he's watched it yet, but it's not a cheesecake and it's really cool. I'm not sure.
Do that one.
We won with a cobbler this year. We did good.
And the salad.
Cobbler.
Oh yeah, the strawberry pretzel salad.
I won first place on the peach cobbler in that new place in Tennessee.
Yeah, what was that? Like July? We all said we'll go up Shelbyville.
Oh, it was hot.
That was a blast. We had a blast. So, y'all got to do the distillery tour with us this year.
We went next door to the restaurant, the Mexican restaurant.
Oh yeah, I was there with you.
We had El Presidentes.
We talking about. I was El Presidente. No, I was with you, silly goose.
You went after to the whiskey tasting.
I know. I was feeling El Presidente myself.
You were beyond me, man.
Yeah, no, that was. I was like, "What barbecue?" I don't know what this barbecue you speak of. AJ, I get AJ.
Justin brought out the sprinkler system for us. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was so hot, man. That was cool as hell, though, man. The next year we all got to go to the bar they got there. It is ginormous, nice. So big. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
I'm in.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to get things kicked off again. Excited to. I feel like everybody stepped their game up so much last year. Like just in like a 1 year, because we talked about on the show a lot. Like the scores, not only in backyard but pro. Like if you're not getting a 176 or higher, you don't have a chance.
No kidding. I mean, I don't think the judges are getting any more. I don't think they're adjusting. I like what you just said. I think we've upped the game.
Chicken, especially
eating off of ourselves in this little area. I'd love to see I'd love to see somebody go off west or somewhere else just to see how you do. Just because taste profiles change and judges change and all that stuff, just to see what happens. But you take a look at the guys that went up to Virginia. We talked about earlier. They went up there and Grand and Reserve, back to back on a double. I mean. Whatever we're doing down here, obviously rang the bell up there because they got some great scores up there.
Oh my God. Well, it's just chicken, I feel like, has made the biggest jump of all the proteins. Like chicken. Well, AJ, 2 years ago when I first met you, 2 years ago? Yeah, I think 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I mean, if you got a 173 in chicken or something like that, or ribs, like you had a chance. Like, you're top three.
For sure.
Now, if you're not a 180, apparently, AJ. You have no chance at all now, and I'm like some beast, like and if I get a 180 or 178.8 and get fifth, I'm gonna be pissed.
when we come back home and we come back to Decatur after all these comps, and even if we did, like if we heard our name but like it was fifth or third or whatever, are you super sad? And I'm like, no. I said because it's gotten to the point where we've gotten so close with everyone that if we don't hear our name, we want to hear y'all's names. People that we want to all hear our names, but at the end of the day, if we hear one of y'all's names, it's also a win for everybody.
I want to beat the best at their best. We were at Whistle Stop and we were inside and the TV went bloop and I went, oh shit, power clip. And I ran outside and my my pellet smoker was blue screen. I was like, oh no.
I hate that.
I turned around. I'm like, do we got power? And they're like, no, power's down. And I'm like, I had backflashes of Glencoe from a year ago when that transformer blew. But the funny thing is everybody else was like, oh, transformer blew. And they go over and they pull out their generators and start them up and everything's fine. And I looked at D and I was like, generators in the truck. So we jumped down, ran through the gate. We were parked all the way out at Starbucks, grabbed the generator, and I just started hauling ass, pushing it back into the comp, got fired up. By the time I got there, I don't know, 7 minutes passed. So I had lost about 50 degrees and got mine fired up, and then immediately turned to everybody. I was like, as long as you're just running a pellet grill or a blower, if you can plug in. I was like, somebody get an extension cord, somebody get a power strip, plug into it. My generator will do it. It's fine. But, it goes back to, I took the generator to the comp, but I didn't learn my lesson, because if you look at Ghost Hill and Mad Rocket, those guys run their pellet grills off of battery sources for that exact reason. One little tiny power clip is not going to kill them. They're still running, and it's just one of those things where I was like,
shout out to Gareth for giving us gasoline.
Yeah. So I grabbed that. I had like this much gas. I'm like, Gareth, I need gas. He's like, take all you want. But that will definitely be something that I will have in place this year. Will be a battery powered inverter of sorts that's independent of the power source that my camper is connected to for my grill / fans.
At least he didn't. Garrett didn't pull a Russ Allen on you and give you a gas can that's half water, like you did me. But it's okay. I still love you, Russ. I still love you. Wow. But no, man. It's I need to look at, because my pellet grill, that's given me fits a few times this year. Like because pellets grill are like, if you don't do like the cool down on those, like mine especially, I got the Lone Star, and if you don't do like the cool down, it's just it don't act right. So I gotta
it burns back the daggum.
Like I'm sitting here looking at my my thermometer on mine. It's like, all right, it's going from 275. Look over again, it's like 250. I'm like, what is happening? I'm like turning it up and it won't do it. It won't restart. I'm like,
yep.
That's why I wouldn't mind having the Outlaw just for that reason. Just so I wouldn't worry about
those Outlaws, man. Wow.
I know. I wish I had Buzz money. Some puddle duck money. That's what I want.
Buzz.
Buzz. Yeah, that's right. I saw Outlaw actually posted his trailer and smoker today on their TikTok. So I was like, oh man, I'm jealous. He
Buzz did get one?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh cow.
Buzz is gonna be laying it next year, man. Y'all watch out. Buzz is
that old hickory. Wasn't it an old hickory, that big stainless?
Oh yeah, the CTO. He had a CTO, yeah.
Man, I tell you what, the first time I ever met him was in Winchester, and he gave me an end rib, and I tasted it, and I went, well, you're going to do
that was his first contest.
I think he got a second place. He got a second or third place his very first comp.
He did.
Because I tasted it. I was like, I don't know what you just did, but you need to keep doing that.
He was my neighbor, and that was his first contest, and I went over there, helped him a lot, and then he turned around I left early that time. I was listening to it. I was like, son of a bitch, he freaking beat me.
It was a great rib. I don't know what he did. I hope he wrote it down, because that was do that.
He's going to be one to watch next year. I'm calling it right now. But yeah, man. So that's all we have for you guys tonight. I really appreciate you guys coming on. I'll let people know where they can find you and where they can buy your rubs and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So social media, Scott Boyers, Daniel Corson, we're partners, but we do have our Deviant Smoke competition cooking page, Facebook, Instagram, and of course our Deviant Smoke seasonings page, also Facebook and Instagram. The website, deviantsmoke.com. You're welcome to go in there, buy what you want. We'll ship it out the next day. If you are local to North Alabama and you just want to meet up, make sure you put everything in the cart. And when you go into checkout, you can click local pickup. We can just meet. You don't have to pay the shipping. You pay the ship. If you pay the shipping, I'll send it to you the very, very next day, USPS. I got it at a few places around town. You can find me at Publix Holloways in Decatur. And if you're out about enjoying restaurants, if you're in Huntsville, stop into End Zone. End Zone uses a couple of our seasonings on our GS3P on their fries and hamburgers exclusively. 6 Pockets in Decatur uses 4 of our seasonings. 3 are marketed, 1's just for him. But he is happy to have you. So please enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much. See y'all here. See y'all
Appreciate
soon on the trail. See you, buddy. All right, man. Well, that's our show and that's our year. Holy shit, it's been a year. We got our 1 year. Dude, 1 year anniversary is coming up, and I checked. So I thought it was coming out next week. It's not. It's going to be January 16th, 15th. So second, third weekend in January. So we'll have to do a big giveaway for that. So like I said on the before, we got big announcements for you guys. So this actually, the show right here will be our last live show on Facebook, because we are transferring our platform over to YouTube starting the next year. So if you want to watch us live and comment and hang out with us, I highly recommend it. We'll go to our YouTube page, and I'll post it on our Facebook page and all that good jazz. So you can click the link and sign up. And if you do, you'll be entered in to win some great prizes. I will post that on the Facebook page this week. Also, fun news. So for the people, the 256, is that what it is?
256, baby.
255 Border Wars, baby. We're gonna kick it off right on cue. We've been talking to some people the whole last year. I wanted to start off on a new year. If you want to be eligible to be entered into the 256 Border Wars, please let me know on either the email, which is Logan at rightoncuepodcast@gmail.com. Not Logan, rightoncuepodcast@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know you're interested. And then also you can always hit us up on our Facebook page as well.
Absolutely.
So we're going to do it. Border Wars, me and AJ will go through and we'll select, 7-8 teams each. And then we'll lay the points out. And then, we're going to have some flags and some trophies and some fun stuff for the winners, and it'll be fun competition and shit talking as always. Right. That's right. But yeah, man. So go ahead.
So we're going to do Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee, Kentucky.
Yeah. So we're going to go. We're going to do Hatfield to McCoy style. We're going to hit the border at Tennessee. Tennessee and up is eligible for my team, and Tennessee and down is going to be eligible for Mr. AJ and Ala barbecue. So like you said, man, send your info in. We're going to announce that here probably. We'll announce it on our anniversary show. So we'll do that. I think that'd be a great one to do it on. I'll have a little presentation, PowerPoint, all that jazz, if I can figure that stuff out. But but that's our show, guys. Thank you so much. I hope y'all had a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever else there is. Festivus for the rest of us. I hope it was a great one. But thank you guys so much for spending this year with us. It has been an honor and a blast talking to you guys and hanging out with you guys. And I know me and AJ have loved meeting and talking to some of the people we look up to the most and people we care about, and sharing it with you guys. So it's been a blast. I didn't think when we first started this off, I didn't think it take off like it has, but you guys have been such a great response, and we truly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. AJ, man of many words. I'm messing with you. I just want to shut up. That's all it is.
Shut up.
But anyways, as always, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue. See you guys.
That's all, folks.